Week 6 NFL was pretty predictable. There were no real surprises that came out of Week 6 as far as wins and losses are concerned. Let's start with the Jaguars Bears. Sorry, I'm fixing my hair. Let's start with the Jaguars Bears game, international game. The NFL has 5 international games this season. This was the 3rd of 5 international games. Let me start by saying I don't like the Jayden Daniels, Caleb Williams comparison, but I get why people do it, especially after 2023. The number 2 overall pick of the 2023 NFL draft is outperforming the number 1 pick of the 2023 NFL draft. And so people are certainly trying to push that narrative again in 2024. It's not that Caleb Williams is doing bad, because he's not. It's just that the guy that they're comparing him to, Jayden Daniels, is doing exceptionally well. Caleb Williams is heating up. I made 4 graphs for us to reference today. 4 very simple graphs. Let's look at the first one. The first one is passing yards. Okay, week 1 versus the Titans, he had 93 passing yards. Fast forward to week 6 versus the Jaguars, 226 passing yards. You see that trend line in the middle means that he's trending upwards. The next one is passer rating. Week 1 versus the Titans, 55.7 passer rating. Fast forward to week 6 versus the Jaguars, 124.4 passer rating. Very much trending upwards. The next one is completion percentage. Titans week 1, 48.3. Jaguars week 6, 79.3 completion percentage. And the last one is adjusted QBR. Week 1 versus the Titans, 25.5. Fast forward to week 6 versus the Jaguars, 88.4 passer ratings. The Bears defense has definitely been carrying this team, but that's exactly what you want if you have a rookie quarterback. You want to alleviate pressure from that offense. So Chicago's defense has been doing what it needs to do to alleviate pressure from Caleb Williams, from that offense, to have to put points on the board every week. That is the best division in football, in my opinion, by far. The Packers and the Bears are both 4-2. And they're both at the bottom of their division. That's crazy. Let's move on to the Buccaneers Saints game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are real contenders. They have one of the best offenses through 6 weeks. Baker Mayfield led Tampa Bay to a season-best 51 points over the Saints. Sean Tucker ran for 136 yards in Rachaad White's absence. This is exactly what you want from your next man up. We see Jordan Mason performing while CMC is out. We saw Malik Willis win games while Jordan Love was out. You cannot predict injuries, and this is why paying attention to core depth is so important, so that when injuries do happen, you make sure that the next man up can perform for the starter, and that's exactly what Sean Tucker did. The Bucs are 4-2 and second place in that division behind the 4-2 Falcons. After an explosive offensive start, the New Orleans Saints dropped to 2-4, just 1 game ahead of the 1-5 Panthers. Let's move on to this Commanders-Ravens game. I had the Ravens winning this game by 2 possessions. And I hear what you're saying, Terry McLaurin. After the game, he said that there are no moral victories and that they're looking to win games. And I love to hear that from my veteran leader. But if you've been following me long enough, you know that I've said that we can't quantify success for the Commanders in wins and losses. We have to see how we're losing. And this was a good loss. I'm sorry. Why did I think that the Ravens were going to win? Because the Ravens defense has the pleasure of going up against Lamar Jackson in practice, in the offseason, in OTAs, and training camp. They know what that looks like. They go up against one of the best to do it in the game today. So I knew that they would hold Jayden Daniels as far as rushing yards. He had a season low 6 carries for 22 rushing yards. It's no coincidence. It's no coincidence that one of the best rushing teams in the NFL held Jayden Daniels to a season-low rushing. Harbaugh is great at having that defense be very patient with rushing lanes. There were times where Jayden Daniels felt the pressure, but because they were very disciplined and patient with those rushing lanes, he couldn't go anywhere. I'm okay with this loss. The Ravens got a win against one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. Lamar Jackson is MVP for a reason. He had 373 total yards yesterday, leading his team to a win. Derrick Henry had 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mark Andrews was involved. Lamar is 22-1 versus the NFC, the entire conference. One man is 22-1 versus an entire conference. Come on now. How could I be mad at losing by 1 possession at home when the Ravens do very well at M&T Bank Stadium? Come on, bro. This was a good loss. There were no surprises for me coming out of this game. We all know that Washington's secondary is Swiss cheese. It is something that I definitely anticipate Adam Peters addressing either before the trade deadline, through the draft, in the offseason next year, or a combination thereof. I'm not surprised that Benjamin St-Juste had the game that he did. He was getting burnt. And I do anticipate that happening again some more this season. So no surprises there. Jayden Daniels still did very well. He threw for 269 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's a good performance in a loss. 110.3 passer rating. So again, I hear no moral victories, and that's the exact attitude that I want my players to have, my veteran leadership to have. But this was a good loss. Moving right along to Colts Titans, two of the worst offenses in the NFL. Oh my gosh, definitely bottom 10. I don't have too much to say about this one. It was a division game. Outside of maybe we saw Joe Flacco do what Joe Flacco does as QB2. We've seen him do it on other teams. That Colts offense runs a lot smoother with Joe Flacco at the helm. No real surprise there. That's kind of what you want your super veteran QB2 to come in and do. That's why they got him. That's what he did on other teams. They also were without Jonathan Taylor, which is very big, but they still managed to put 20 points up. Colts win over the Titans 20-17. Next is Texans Patriots. No surprise. Texans won 41-21 over the Patriots, as they should. Next is Eagles Browns. The Eagles came off a bye and struggled against one of the worst teams in the NFL. Last year, I'm not trying to bring up old stuff, but let's just try to recognize a pattern. Let's just try to recognize a pattern together as a family. Last year, the Eagles came off their bye. Their bye was week 10. After their bye, which was, their last game was against the Cowboys, they came back and beat the Chiefs 21-17. And then after that, they beat the Bills by 3 points. Both very impressive. After that, they ended up ultimately losing 6 of their last 9 games. This is a relatively early bye for a team that wants to be contenders. Let's hope that this pattern isn't the same this year and that they don't come off the bye because they've struggled against the Browns. They struggled against the Browns. The good news is that their next 3 games should be relatively easy. They have the Giants, and then they have the Jaguars, and then they have the Giants, and then the Bengals, and then the Jaguars. I'll give you the Giants because it's a division game. I would not be mad if y'all lost to the Giants. Y'all know how I feel about the division. But the Bengals and then the Jaguars, Philly, if y'all don't win 2 of your next 3 games, it's over for y'all. It's over for y'all. Just chalk it up. Just have fun for the rest of the season because y'all not going anywhere. Y'all not doing anything. You guys are 3-2, second in the NFC East, but come on, we got to start accumulating wins. We have to start dominating bad teams. If you can't dominate a bad team, I shudder to think what you're going to do versus good teams. Next is Lions Cowboys. Jared Goff threw for 315 yards, 3 touchdown passes. David Montgomery had a pair of rushing touchdowns. But take a look at this. Okay, this is what I call playing with your food. This is what I call playing with your food. They don't respect you, Dallas. The Lions don't respect you. And they showed you that over and over and over and over again. Let me show you how they disrespected you. And it was not subtle. A flea flicker to Sam Laporta early in the second quarter. They attempted a touchdown pass to offensive tackle Taylor Decker. They ran a hook and ladder to offensive tackle Penei Sewell. This gentleman here is offensive tackle Dan Skipper running routes, playing with their food. They don't respect you. They came to Arlington. You guys could not even score a touchdown. A field goal in the first quarter, a field goal in the second quarter, a field goal in the third quarter. That's all that your offense could muster. That's all you could do. Yeah, you guys said in the offseason, oh, we don't need to do all this and we don't need to do all that. We're good. We have Dak. We have Micah. We have CeeDee. All that work, and what did it get you? 47 on your head top at home. That's crazy. That's crazy. The most unfortunate part of this game, seriously, is the injury to Aiden Hutchinson. He is expected to be out for the rest of the season due to a broken tibia and fibula. Very horrible. That is a superstar defensive player. I don't care what team he's on. I don't care who the next man up is. He will be sorely missed. So definitely sending positive vibes to him, wishing him a full, speedy recovery. The next game is Giants-Bengals. I don't know why they had this game primetime. And CBS was so pressed to block the Commanders-Ravens game from being a primetime game. Nobody wanted to see this. I don't even think Giants fans wanted to see this on primetime. Bengals look bad. Giants defense did what it needed to do. Brian Burns showed up. He had a good game. He had a sack. Azeez Ojulari had a pair of sacks. Sexy Dexy had a sack. They got to Joe Burrow 4 times. But the offense just did not put up points. I don't think anyone is surprised about that. They did not have Malik Neighbors. They did not have Devin Singletary. They did not have Thibodeau. So no one is surprised at the outcome of this game. Just I don't think anybody wanted to see it on Sunday night prime time. Like, stop doing that. Both teams are 2-4. The Giants are 0-3 at home. The Bengals won 17-7. But stop putting this shit on primetime. Tonight, Monday Night Football, we have Bills, Jets. If this game follows the Sunday trend of really no surprises, then I have Buffalo winning. But again, you know how I am with division games. Anything can happen, but I do have Buffalo winning. Both of these teams are on a 2-game losing streak. The Bills lost to the Ravens and the Texans, and the Jets lost to the Broncos and the Vikings. I think the Bills will break their losing streak, and I think that the Jets will go on to be 2-4. We shall see.